There are stories war doesn't want to tell. Not the ones about medals or victories, but the quiet ones. The ones that happen in between bombs and orders. This is one of those stories. It was 2027. The Middle East was on fire. Again. Israel and Iran had been in a silent cyber war for years. But in April, it turned hot. One drone strike, one assassination, one airbase too close to the wrong border. That's all it took. By June, the skies over Syria and Iraq were war zones. Satellites were down. Civilians were fleeing cities. And two young soldiers, one Iranian, one Israeli, were about to share a moment that would never make a headline. Captain Eli Regev was 29 years old, an Israeli drone operator stationed in the Negev desert. Quiet, observant, a loner. He didn't carry a rifle. He carried a joystick, a headset, and the weight of lives under his fingers. His drone, Heron Mac IV, had eyes everywhere, above Syria, over Iran, through the cloud line and into places no man should see. On June 12th, his mission was simple. Track a convoy moving through western Iraq. Iranian armored division, possibly transporting missiles, possibly decoys. His orders: observe and wait. Do not fire unless confirmed hostile. But 300 miles away, something else was unfolding on the ground. Major Dariush Naderi was 33, Iranian Army. Tank commander. Decorated. Loyal. A father of two. His unit was escorting the convoy Eli was watching. But they weren't transporting missiles. They were moving injured civilians from a bombed-out refugee shelter near Deir ez-Zor. No one cared what flag was flying above it. It was a Red Crescent camp, and it had taken a direct hit 2 nights before. Dariush had lost friends in that blast. Now he was leading the evac mission himself. His convoy was slow, vulnerable, no air cover. And high above, Eli's drone tracked them silently. Somewhere over the desert, a freak sandstorm hit. It knocked out most ground signals, jammed radios, blurred satellite feeds. And then, something strange happened. Eli's drone picked up a low-frequency emergency channel. Unencrypted, old Soviet-era radio waves. He tuned in. This is call sign Azure 6. Repeat, we have wounded. Civilian priority. Coordinates, grid 7. Bravo. Do you copy? Eli froze. Not because of the message, but because of the voice. Young, calm, Iranian, and scared. He hesitated, then pressed his mic. Azure 6. This is Delta 9. Identify yourself. You're Israeli, aren't you? You're not supposed to be broadcasting. This channel's open. That's the point, Delta 9. Nobody else is answering. And so, the line held. Between two enemies. They talked for 9 minutes, then 12, then 30. Eli couldn't explain it. He was supposed to report this. Cut the feed. But something in Dariush's voice felt real. They talked about the wounded, about the children, about the broken comms. I lost my brother in the Quds Force, Dariush said. 2 years ago, not in battle. Eli replied, my cousin Kibbutz boy. Rocket hit his school. He was 11. Why are we doing this, man? Dariush asked. And Eli had no answer. A command ping came through. Israeli Central Command. Eli's feed was back. High resolution. Full infrared. The convoy was tagged. Target locked. You are clear to engage. Repeat fire when ready. Eli's finger hovered over the trigger. On his screen, heat signatures. Dariush's tank. A woman holding a child. The convoy. Real people. In his ear, silence. Then, static. Then Dariush's voice again. Delta 9. You still there? Eli pressed mute. He didn't respond. He just sat there, finger trembling. And then, he aborted. He sent a false missile diagnostic alert to HQ. He scrambled the feed. He lied. And he stayed on the frequency. For the next 2 hours, they talked. Not about war, about music, food, children, peace. The things you talk about when you forget there's a border between your feet. At one point, Dariush asked, "Do you think if we met in person we'd still be enemies?" Eli replied, "I don't think we'd even talk, not because I'd hate you, but because I'd be afraid I'd like you." And Dariush laughed. Then the line went silent. A fire control report came in. Iranian radar had picked up an incoming strike, not from Eli, from a separate Israeli squadron. The target? Grid 7 Bravo. Eli begged command to call it off. He sent the civilian tag codes, claimed radio contact, pleaded. Too late. At 14:27 local time, Israeli F-35s dropped 3 JDAMs on the convoy route. The drone feed went white. No formal investigation followed. Eli was quietly reassigned. The strike was labeled a success. Strategic denial. Standard protocol. But Eli saved one thing. He saved the audio. All 2 hours and 13 minutes. Of 2 enemies talking like brothers. He listens to it every June 12th. And every year, when he hears Dariush's final words, "Delta 9, you still there?" he closes his eyes and whispers, "Yes, always." This story never made the news. No medals were given, no flags raised. But in the shadows of war, 2 men found something worth remembering. And maybe that's enough. This is Echoes of Valor. True voices, true moments, from the heart of conflict.